Just sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, September the 7th, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello. Pete is dancing if you have the video.
Hi, guys.
It's somewhere between Ian Curtis and Jazz Hands.
Ooh. See, my fingers look all blurry to me. How do they look to you?
I've had 7 beers today, so that everything looks blurry. No, I'm just joking.
Do you need a trombone player for your band in about 4 years?
I've had a trombone player in our band before, but yeah, unlike the Yankees, I like to have a deep well of future talent.
Like to have a nice bench.
I like to have people. I like to have people prepared to come up when they're needed.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, 4 years, ready to go.
Happy anniversary, Jets. It is our 100th show today. Today is our 100th show.
And I heard we've had 37 people listen to the show over the course.
Cumulative,
yes, of course.
Of course.
It's a pretty big word.
That's right.
I think we need to grease the wheels and get put on like in a prison or something so we can have a
captive audience.
No pun intended, captive audience.
Right,
and
exactly.
We can say, well, they listen to us in Dannemora.
This is true.
Well,
Sing Sing's a lot closer to us than any.
Everywhere's close with the internet.
Nothing against our fine incarcerated fellows, but I don't think that's the target audience. I don't know what the fuck our target audience is. There's no target and there's no audience. I think they should just play us.
The audience has a target.
I think they should just play us in the background of every target in America.
I think we should be in elevators instead of Muzak. Elevator music. We should be on
show.
Every elevator across America. Our show.
Would they consider that cruel and unusual punishment?
It depends on how long you're in the elevator.
Well, no. If they were forced to listen in prison,
that is cruel and unusual punishment.
Could go straight to the Supreme Court. No,
exactly.
Sorry, we can't. That's just too much.
Exactly. Agreed.
Maybe in like the child molester wing, but not for the general population.
Possibly in Turkish prisons, but definitely, definitely not in Gen Pop.
Sure.
Maybe at Guantanamo.
Sure.
We could be huge in Guantanamo.
We could. I heard. I heard Gangnam Style is still the most popular song.
It is.
Guantanamo. So.
Well, and by most popular, they mean the one they play 23 and a half hours a day.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
They'll break it up. They'll be happy to hear us. They'll be happy to hear John go on about the inadequacies of the Mets middle relievers or something, just to get a break from Gangnam Style.
Okay.
All right, let's talk sports because we want to be out of here in 13 minutes.
Well, allow me to change the background because tonight is indeed not only our 100th show, but our NFL Kickoff Show. So that's the only background we need tonight.
That's right.
All right.
What field is that, by the way? Does anybody know?
That is the North Arlington High School field.
No, it's way too green. At least back in the day.
Not brown enough.
They used to spray paint it green.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Well, maybe they turfed it.
I don't know. Isn't it called Rip Collins Field now?
It was. It's not anymore. Now it's just the North Arlington High School field.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. For those out there who don't know who Rip Collins was, he was a wonderful man. He was a one-legged disciplinarian.
Oh, yeah.
He used to blow a whistle in the lunchroom. Why? Nobody knows.
He kicked more ass with one leg than most people did with two.
That's right.
I was going to say if they maybe they had to change the name, like if he died, and then people would go, instead of Rip, they would think it was R.I.P. And they go, oh, that's kind of cruel.
Well, it was dedicated to him posthumously.
Oh, okay.
Originally. So,
yeah.
But they just
so ironically,
yeah. If people want to know why 2/3 of this podcast is the way it is because 2/3 of us were brought into a lunchroom with a one-legged man blowing a whistle at you, telling you to get in line, little boy. And while you were served Taylor ham sandwiches by someone who looked like the Penguin from Batman.
Except on Fridays, then you got Elio's Pizza Squares.
That's right. So There you go.
Which the kids don't even appreciate anymore.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Pizza Day, I don't know if the quality's going down or just
The quality
general-
couldn't go down.
It couldn't go any further down.
That's a
It
good
was
point.
basically like a piece of like, corrugated cardboard with some like 17-year-old tomato sauce.
No, it was just ketchup and American cheese.
Ketchup and American cheese. There you go.
So maybe the general population of children is actually eating a little bit better.
I would think so.
And so now the Elio's pizza is not a treat. And Spaghetti Day, not a treat in school.
No. Yeah.
Those were the two best days.
Well, Wednesday was
Anymore.
Prince Spaghetti Day, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you now go in a bubble to your zone of the cafeteria where
Oh, they take your
either
your order,
peanut free or
right?
gluten free. Or
Well, I can tell you from experience when I was chasing geese, we used to do a lot of school districts, and many times I was there, and they would be unloading, the food into the cafeteria, from the Cisco trucks, and it was just frozen sugar, Eggo
frozen
waffles,
sugar and sodium bombs.
sugary cereals. Just to look at these stacks of food that were going into this elementary school, and I'm like, these kids don't have a chance. They're gonna end up like me. They're starting off in like third grade, and like here's half a pound of sugar over the course of the school day.
I know.
It was too bad.
It is too bad. I'm
Yeah,
gonna pour.
It still is. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm gonna pour beer right now. I
I'm gonna
normally
take a sip of my coffee.
take a sip of your coffee. I'm just pouring a beer for a reason. I normally don't on these shows have a beer, but I feel like one now, and I'm only doing it because it is National Beer Lovers Day. Happy National Beer Lovers Day.
Congratulations.
All right.
Yeah.
To take a post from the beer show. Happy National Beer Lovers
Because
Day.
you definitely needed an excuse to drink beer.
This is true, and I'm having Jersey Girl Brewing. I'm having a
Jersey Girl.
Run with the Devils Amber Lager. Running with the
Nice.
Devils. There you go. So,
Was that personally blessed by David Lee Roth?
David Lee Roth and Martin Brodeur.
It's in the key of E.
It's in the key of E, and it's in the note of E.
It's in the note of it.
There you go. So, cheers, gentlemen.
I
There you
think
go.
possibly tuned down a half a step. So it's in the key of D flat.
There you go. There you go. All right. All right. Let's get cooking with tonight's show. It's just the NFL Kickoff Show tonight. So let's talk some NFL.
Football,
What is
you
that?
bet.
What was that? Sound like a truck came through one of somebody's.
No, that's some sort of trombone going on in the background.
Was it a trombone?
Oh,
I thought so.
so let's hope so.
Could have been a truck. I don't know.
Could have been a truck. 6 of 1. All right. So, what do you guys think of the NFL this year? How's it shaping up? What are you ready? You ready for some football? I mean, that's a kind of a cliche, right, to ask you, but are you ready for some football?
I am. I love watching 20-year-old millionaires run around on the field, and I'm hoping for a couple nervous meltdowns this year.
It's not going to be a season like, Antonio Brown spoiled us last year.
Yeah,
He really, really did.
Yeah, we've already talked about who we think is going to be the next Antonio Brown, but
Yeah.
Look, people are excited about it. A lot of change, a lot of new people or old people in new places. Some rookies getting a shot to start and see what they're worth.
Yep.
Some veterans hanging around on the sideline waiting for the rookies to falter so they can step in.
Yep.
I don't know. I think
Some veterans waiting for the rookies to get off the injured list.
right.
Yeah.
There is a lot of hope and a lot of beginning of the season excitement with the exception of possibly the Giants and the Jets.
Yeah, not so much.
But other than that, everybody else is pretty excited for football to start.
But that's
Well,
typical, though, right?
Let me ask you this.
Well, it has
Let me ask
been.
you this quick question here.
Yeah.
What do these teams all have in common?
Go for it.
The Jets, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Texans, the Raiders, the Bears. That's it.
Hold on. Give me them again, because I got to look at them.
Oh God, no.
None of them
Joking. I'm joking.
None of them made the playoffs last year.
The Jets, the Ravens, the Steelers,
Mhm.
the Texans,
Mhm.
the Raiders, and the Bears.
Raiders and the Bears. They all have.
This is not historically. This is of recent time. Heading into this football season, what do they all have?
They all have a new. No, that's not true. They all have a new place kicker. No, I have no idea. I was going to say
they all have a new
head coach. No,
not the Giants.
They are. Shall I just tell you? It doesn't really.
Yeah,
matter.
why not?
They are all undefeated in the preseason, which we know doesn't mean anything. But
It means
they didn't lose in the preseason.
It means they didn't lose in the preseason.
It means that their fourth stringers are the best in the league. The people who they had the best players who are no longer playing in the NFL.
There you go.
I just thought it was interesting that really, with the exception of, I guess, Las Vegas, maybe you want to, and Baltimore. Those might be considered the good teams amongst that group.
Sure.
So, and you've got the Jets and Houston, arguably two of the worst. Pittsburgh, not really sure where they're going to be, but probably not near the top of anything. No. And the Bears, who, despite hope springing eternally, never seem to quite get over the hump, although they might be the best of that other bunch. So I just thought it was interesting. Again, we all know preseason means nothing, but some real stinkers who, I guess their third and fourth stringers were just better, or at least maybe their second stringers played an extra series or two over some of the better teams.
And now it just means that a lot of the brand new signing for arena football players are played really well in August. So.
Yeah. All right, let's get on with it.
Getting on with it. Couple of local things, really quick. Really, local for Giants and Jets. Local for our fandom. How's that?
I don't know. I think we're trying to get something beyond.
We're trying to get something beyond it, but I'm just have this whole thing with
Carlstadt
and East Rutherford. Yeah. No, the Giants. Darius Slayton took a pay cut to remain in New York. So
he's waiting tables at.
But here's the thing, though.
Chuck E. Cheese in Midtown.
I saw the news report. I haven't even clicked on it yet because I'm not going to get into it because it's not that important of a story. But the reason I just brought that up is because he's still on a rookie contract. So his rookie contract and a wide receiver's rookie contract as well, not a quarterback's or something like that, took a pay cut to remain on the team. How much could they have possibly saved? I got to open it up just to find out.
Oh, God. This is what I was trying to avoid.
Just a number. He dropped his salary from $2.5 million to the league minimum $965,000.
That's a huge savings.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I would say that we should put that in a savings account that has a fairly good yield. And so when the Giants draft their next quarterback, who's finally going to be able to pass the ball to somebody, that they could, put it in, let it grow for 5 years. Let it grow for 5 years so that when their rookie contract is up,
right? They can use it. There you go. Yeah. Very nice. All right. And he just overall.
Who cares? Why is he taking less money? I don't understand why he had
because he didn't want to be cut. He didn't want to be cut.
I know, but that tells you everything about the Giants. Is that a top draft pick? Okay, how many years has Slayton been in the league?
He came in with Dale Jones, so this is his fourth year.
Okay, and he was picked in the first round, correct?
Darius Slayton? No, he was a second or third rounder. Third rounder, I think.
So he was still a top draft pick. So the Giants don't really. What that tells me is the Giants don't really have anybody to replace him. But we're going to negotiate with the receiver who's trying to get the last receiving slot on the roster to save $1 million.
Yeah, pretty much. Because they're in cap hell, right? I mean, Gettleman had them in cap hell. They had to move things around, so
it just tells
they're saving $1.5, $1.6 million. So,
well, what is it? Let me ask you guys: what is your opinion of Slayton as a receiver? He's pretty good when he's healthy.
Right.
He has potential, but he drops too much. He's pretty good.
I think he's worth $900,000.
I think he's worth $965,000.
So here's my
question. Think I'm worth $865,000 as a
I do it for I'd do it for 802.
Yeah. I would do it.
For
801.
What does that say about his self-confidence? Right? Like, does he think? Well,
I will say this: it's refreshing.
Sure.
Especially coming from a wide receiver.
Right. On a team that has known to have a revolving door when it comes to wide receivers.
I mean, because does he really think I won't get another job somewhere?
Well, that might be it, right? I mean, maybe he's worried that he would just flounder around and not get another job in the NFL. So, okay,
let me let you answer your question.
Okay.
He's fighting for a final roster spot on the New York Giants. So he's going to have a chance, if he gets cut by the Giants, of possibly being picked up by the practice squad for the Jets, the Panthers, or the Browns. That's about it.
Right. Pretty much.
You don't think there's any
maybe the Texans,
maybe?
Texans.
Other team that might take a shot at him?
For 900, sure.
For the league minimum, yeah. Yeah, I can see them, especially if there's an injury in the first couple of weeks, for a few weeks. Sure.
Not to linger on this for too long, but the one thing the New York Giants did for years, I would argue almost better than anybody in the league, maybe with the exception of the Steelers, is draft wide receivers. When a receiver got too big for their britches, literally, and wanted more money, the Giants' MO was always next man up. And for a long time there, they had a very long successful streak of drafting wide receivers.
Sure. I mean, before when was the last time they brought in a wide receiver of the magnitude of Plaxico Burress when they brought him in?
Right.
Before Plaxico Burress, right?
Right.
And since then, Kenny Galladay.
Yeah,
Gordon Galladay, but
which is a complete bust. Which is a complete bust.
And nobody's taking him, so they're stuck with him for another 3 years. So
I think there's no way of really judging what the Giants receiving.
Brandon Marshall was another one.
The Giants have had a lot of injuries at wide receiver, and they've had a lot of inconsistencies. There's been flashes of people being good. Let's face it, they've invested draft capital, like most NFL teams, in the wide receiver position over the last 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. It just hasn't panned out. Now, that could be a combination of a less than average offensive line, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, a rotating cast of coaches, horrible offensive coordinators, and a team that offensively has been pretty miserable since Eli Manning left. So we don't know. To answer your question, I don't know how good he is. I think the only way to tell is to put him on another team.
To find out, yeah. That could be a process.
This is his last year. You said he came in with Jones, right? So it's final year of his rookie
contract. He's got the 5th-year option, but
right.
If he doesn't do anything this year, obviously they're not gonna extend it to him. So, but yeah, this will be the last year. All right, moving on to Jets really quick. Just one thing I want to throw out there. Obviously, the biggest news out of Jets camp: Zach Wilson,
Joe
Flacco starting on Sunday.
Yeah,
Zach Wilson likely out until week 4.
Yeah.
So.
Well, look, I don't want to be a pessimist.
In his defense, he did have a planned vacation with a couple of the players' moms week 3. So
Fair enough.
Look, I don't want to be a pessimist, but whatever. He's hurt, and then he'll come back. I mean, this is you never want to put too much pressure on anybody and rush things too soon. But this is the year you have to see Zach Wilson do something. You just can't draft a guy
someone
2 or whatever, right? He was number 2 in the draft.
Number 2 in the draft,
Number 2 in the draft. Mm-hmm. And then, 4 years later, you're going, I don't know if it's any good yet. He has
Seems like deja vu all over again, right?
Yeah. Deja vu all over again.
Will he turn into a NFL quarterback, or will he be competing with Baker Mayfield for a starting job in Houston?
And he has to turn into a really, really good NFL quarterback. He doesn't have to be one of the all-time greats, but you want him to be one of the all-time Jets greats and take you somewhere.
Right.
And again, which isn't that hard to do. The Jets have had arguably 3 good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So, but we got to see something this year, and we're only going to get to see it for 13 games if he stays healthy for the rest of the year. Now, on the flip side, yes, okay, fine. You're not winning anything this year anyway. Let him stay out until he is healthy. Don't bring him back in if you're 0-3 and go, well, we're going to bring him back a week early because we got to get off the schneid. Fuck it. You're not getting anywhere.
Right.
Let him be healthy. Because you're not going to find out if there's always, well, they brought him back a little early. Maybe he wasn't quite ready, or then he re-injures himself, and then you don't get to see him for a few more weeks. Let him sit. You got Flacco. Salah loves him, right? We talked about this, whatever, a month ago or so, or, Salah said, Joe Flacco's a starting QB. Well, and I questioned what that meant. Well, now I think we know what it meant. Zach's not coming back right away, so I'm going to pump up the guy that's our number 2. And that's fine. I think Flacco's a great number 2. He's exactly what you want in a number 2. He's a veteran. He's experienced. He can get you through the first 4 weeks. And
maybe. I think it's going to be ugly.
It's going to be ugly either way. He's not going to, he's not going to turn into who was a great backup? Jeff Hostetler.
Hostetler Incorporated.
There you go. And win you a bunch of games when your Phil Sims is out or whatever.
That's because Hostetler would have been great in any era of the NFL because he's the only guy who could get literally his bell rung 27 times in a row and just get up, twist his helmet back around.
No. So you got it wrong. He wasn't twisting his helmet back around.
It's twisting his head.
His head back around in his helmet, right?
Yeah.
And look, it's week 1. Flacco gets to play against his old team, so that's motivation.
Right.
I think we all know the Jets and Giants are not going to have great seasons this year. So
probably not. Not so much. As long as improvement is what everyone's looking for, right? Yeah. Not another 3-14 or 5-12 season. Something,
we want 5-12 and 6-11.
Try and get to
win 6 or 7 games.
Try and get to twice as many wins as last year.
So anyway,
for the Jets, maybe not for the Jets. Anyway, moving on to the rest of the NFL. What do we have going on?
Emmanuel Sanders announced his retirement after 12 seasons.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So he's riding out the greener pastures. He's done. He's done playing. Patrick Mahomes. This is a fantasy thing, but I find it interesting. This is why I wanted to bring it up.
He's in your fantasies.
He's on my.
He's a good looking guy.
I have him on 2 of my 6 fantasy.
He's a good looking guy.
But anyway. He said this. He says he cautions fantasy owners about Chiefs wide receivers. He says it's going to be someone different every week.
Yeah, that different receiver is going to be Travis Kelce.
Why is that?
He also, in the same breath, said, "If you don't take Travis Kelce as your tight end, you're missing out because I'm going to throw to him 87 times a game."
Yeah, he said it's not going to be just necessarily Tyreek, who's obviously not there anymore.
Right.
Tyreek and Travis Kelce every single week. It's going to be somebody else and Travis Kelce every single week.
Right.
So,
but I think it's going to be Travis Kelce and somebody else.
And somebody else every single week.
Kelce gets top billing.
There's a lot of question marks. People are really questioning the Chiefs without Tyreek Hill, and I think there's other issues with the Chiefs other than just their wide receiver corps, and I don't think they're going to be. We'll get into that later, but spoiler alert, I don't think they're actually going to win that division this year, but they're going to make it to the playoffs. But I don't think they're going to have as wide open of an offense as they had in years past. And it's not just because Tyreek Hill is leaving. Right. I think their division has gone a lot.
Well, they picked up Juju Smith-Schuster from Pittsburgh.
Sure.
They picked up
46. Is he
48, I think. They picked up Marquise Valdez-Scantling from Green Bay.
Right.
So those are the 2. But I mean, they got McCall Hardman, and he played really well last year, even with Tyreek Hill there.
Well, you bring up a great point. Why are these same question marks not lingering over Green Bay? I think Kansas City is less of a one-man show than Green Bay was last year,
right?
And the year before.
Sure.
So, it's going to be the 2 teams that I'm really curious to see this year. Mm-hmm. Are Kansas City and Green Bay, because we're seeing elite quarterbacks lose their top receivers. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have to really prove. I mean, I don't think he deserved the MVP last year. Not that he wasn't in the top 2. I think he was. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be interesting this year to just see what Aaron Rodgers can do with that Green Bay team.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I think as far as KC, this might actually help them in a way. They're going to have to find a way to get things done with some of those other people. It's
Their offense will be fine. It's going to come down. It's going to come down to their defense.
Right.
When you have a guy like Hill, you have that option of something great happening, on any single play, and now there's one less option, and they have other good people. So maybe they, sort of change up the way they do things a little bit.
Look,
they don't have any other 5'10" guys who are really fast wearing number 80 something. Mm-hmm. They just don't. So come on.
Well, look, here's my thing. Like I said, they had McCall Hardman last year, and he had a really good year. Yeah, obviously opposite Tyreek Hill.
Well, that's the thing. Can you be a number one?
Well, that's it. But they also have Juju Smith-Schuster and Marquise Valdes-Scantling now. So if the two of them together can be, can take enough away of what like Tyreek Hill did away from Hardman, you might think that they might have even an advantage over that, because now they don't have to put one guy or maybe double team.
You can't double team everybody.
You're gonna look, if you were double teaming Tyreek Hill, and that's why Hardman had a good year last year. You still at least have to like double team both Scantling and Schuster,
right?
So,
and the question mark is, how good is pure talent? When you have great talent and you have a great quarterback and a great coach and an offensive-minded team,
right?
That makes you look and gives you opportunity to show your true talent.
Right.
Tyreek Hill's not going to lead the league in receiving this year. Neither is Devontae Adams.
No.
It's just, I'm not trying to be sour on Derek Carr or Tua, but it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
It's not.
No. I think Kansas City will be fine. I'm a little bit more Green Bay lost more parts to the puzzle.
They did. They lost a lot more to the puzzle.
But they've got Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but you think about that. Like Green Bay has Aaron Rodgers and Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes, excuse me. Could you imagine if both of them were on the same team, how good they'd be?
Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers? No. That'd be horrible. Only one of them would be good.
It's a joke. Anyway, I hope you know that. Anyway, but yeah, no, I think Kansas City offense-wise, personally, because look, Travis Kelce didn't go anywhere. He's still there. So, they still got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They have all the other pieces they had. I mean, I can't see like them falling from grace because now granted, Tyreek Hill's an awesome wide receiver, but they weren't winning because of Tyreek Hill. They were winning with Tyreek Hill.
They kind of were.
He helped. No, he helped.
I mean, I'm just saying, but he wasn't the only.
He wasn't the only reason. That's my point. Right? Exactly. So if you can have two guys fill his void, they should be about where they were. Right? That's my way of looking at it. Anyway, so. Green Bay, though, you're right. Green Bay is even another bigger question mark. I'd love to see what's going to happen there. I mean, as much of the pieces that they lost. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers can be Aaron Rodgers, anything's possible, right?
Let me throw a couple things at you here. There was sort of bounce around the league a little bit. We'll get your thoughts.
Go for it.
An interesting article on Bleacher Report. It's about a month ago, and it was the 7 teams most likely to disappoint and the reasons why. So let's get your thoughts on this. One of them was the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, okay, Chandler Jones, their top pass rusher, is going to Vegas. J.J. Watt is old. He's only played 31 games over the last 3 seasons. DeAndre Hopkins is going to miss 6 games. Zach Ertz is on, as they say, at the wrong side of 30. And they, have to get things sorted out. And still questions about whether, is it Cliff? I think Kingsbury is really a legitimate NFL coach.
Right.
So predicting Arizona is going to disappoint this year. What do you guys think?
Yeah, look, that division, the only reason why I say maybe not is that they're going to play a Seattle team twice, which is obviously in a rebuilding mode, and they're going to maybe be able to catch a 49ers team that it has a rookie quarterback, and while obviously probably the best team in that league, I don't know. I think Arizona, I wouldn't put them as, I think they're always an enigma. Last year they started out so well, and then dwindled. I think that I don't place them in the top 5 or 6 teams in the league. I think that they on any given day they can beat anybody.
Right.
But I also think that they'll probably still win 10 games.
Right.
Fair enough.
John, anything?
Yeah, you know what? I agree with Harry. I do think that there are still question marks out on Cliff Kingsbury. There's definitely question marks out on
Murray?
Hello. Thank you. Kyler Murray. Thank you.
Eddie Murray?
Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Money.
Right. But whatchamacallit? No, but yeah, I think they're still going to compete. Are they competing for the division in that division? Maybe. I mean, it depends on what the Rams do. You know, I mean,
well, maybe they were
10-7. You know, might seem low for that division because, like, the last several years, that division has been like a really strong division. But I mean, it's kind of taken back a little bit now.
Well, and if enough of those 10 wins are against your division opponents, then
fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. So
all right,
yeah.
let me next up. What are your favorite teams? The Cowboys.
A lot of people are down on the Cowboys this year.
Well, here's the reasons why they say. Of course, no Amari Cooper, so CeCe Lamb is the number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Gallup will probably be the number 2, but we don't know when he's got an ACL tear. I'm not sure when he's going to be back. Ezekiel Elliott is fading. And, of course, Dak Prescott, which Dak Prescott will show up. So they call it a thin squad, a few injuries away from collapsing. So if some guys get hurt, this could be a very bad Dallas team. So will this be the year that Dallas just kind of falls apart?
Yes.
Well, I don't think they're.
And that's how the Giants are going to get to 8 wins.
That's how the Dallas is going to have 4 automatic wins against the Giants in Washington. I think the one thing that we all know that the NFC East, you could squeak by with 8, 9, 10 wins and win that division, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think Philly has gotten a lot better. There's a lot of question marks on Philly. But Dallas has just repeatedly found a way to be disappointing in the postseason.
And
here's the thing about the Cowboys is that you either have pundits talking about how they're going to be the disappointment of the NFL season or they're going to win the Super Bowl. So
but that's every year. That's not just this year because of what's going on.
Right.
Well, I think it's just the fact that I think there is a lot of talent there, especially in the skill positions. I also think that they're not as good as they typically are on the offensive line. They're not as strong as they have been defensively, although they're not by far the worst defensive team in the league. Mm-hmm. And they're inconsistent. And I don't think there's anybody that gives you a complete sense of trust and security going into it. I think they'll make the playoffs. But do you really, even a 12-win Dallas team, you just don't know what they're going to do in the playoffs. They seem to self-implode. So yeah, I agree more with that. They're probably not going to be as good as they were last year. I don't see them, winning the NFC by any means. However, having said that, the NFC is more open than it has been in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know. I don't think that it's a slam dunk that Philly's going to win the NFC East. I think it's going to be a tight race between those two teams. And then you got to win in the postseason. And it really depends on matchups and who you get. And so, yeah, they might not be world beaters, but I could also see them in the NFC Championship game if their cards line up the right way.
It doesn't seem like they have, no matter what their record is, if they get into the playoffs, I just don't see them going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't. Look, I've said it before, and obviously we're going to do our picks for all the divisions and so forth in a little while. But I don't see them winning the division. I think this is Philly's year. I think Philly's going to have the division wrapped up. And I did say, a few weeks ago when we were talking, I did say that it was going to only be by a game or two over Dallas. But the more and more I think about it, I think I don't think they're going to blow them out of the water. I think Dallas is going to have 3 wins by any means, but I think Philly might be pulling away there'll be some room in there. And you got to remember too, we're talking about the NFC East. So it's highly unlikely that if Dallas doesn't win the division, or for that matter, Philly doesn't win the division, whoever doesn't win the division is getting in the playoffs as a wild card.
You never know. You never know. There's some teams that people think are going to be great this year that I'm not so convinced that. Mm-hmm. Real quick on the Cardinals, they have an incredibly tough schedule. They play the AFC West this year, and
that's the best division in football. So
yeah, they got the Chiefs, the Raiders. This is how they start off the year. They got the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Rams. Then they got a Carolina, the Eagles, the Seahawks. So that's kind of. Then they got the Saints and Vikings. I think that middle of their season is going to dictate how it goes, because they end with the Rams, the 49ers, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Bucks, and the Falcons, and then the 49ers again. So it's not going to be an easy ride for the Cardinals.
All right. Next up, Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
As we talked about, Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, Sammy Watkins, and Christian Watson, who's a rookie who hasn't even practiced because of knee injury. Mm-hmm. And Nathaniel Hackett, their great offensive coordinator, now the head coach in Denver. Mm-hmm. They get to play offensively a pretty disappointing season for Green Bay, and we get to see if Aaron Rodgers can get it done without anyone. Really.
Conversely,
they're still
opposite of Arizona. They do get to play the Vikings and Bears twice. All right, they get to play the Giants and the Jets and and Washington.
You get to play the Lions twice. Don't forget about the Lions
and the Lions. They, and then
Lions are better though.
They get the Dolphins and
not a lot
better than Green Bay though.
Green Bay's winning.
Not better than Green Bay. Better than
they were.
They're not.
Green Bay's winning a minimum of 10 games this year.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
I look. They still. Talian's back. He went out with an injury last year. Their tight end, so he's going to be in the mix. He caught some passes last year. He's going to be a ghost. He's going to be
great.
He's not Travis Kelce by any means, but he's a target for Aaron Rodgers. And who knows if he has to go to him a little more often. You got that too. You also got Aaron Jones is there, and he's still got his running back. They had a decent running game.
Can you see anybody else winning that division?
But there's where I'm going. There's Kirk Cousins is still the quarterback in Minnesota. Yeah. So they're not, they may compete with him. They're going to probably be the closest competition to them.
Of course.
But the Lions are the Lions. They are better. Granted, Pete, you did say that.
Great. They're just going to
they're better. They're going to be a little tougher. And, I like Dan Campbell. He's
the
actually,
Giants and Jets of the Midwest.
Yeah, pretty much. And they the Bears are the Bears. They're just treading water until they get their new stadium, which has been announced, by the way, and it's in Arlington Heights, I believe, and it's going to be a dome as well. So
fantastic.
So in 3 years they'll be good again.
So they'll
have better acoustics and a more temperate.
There'll be 3 domes out of 4 teams in the NFC North. So
pussies.
There you go.
All right. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts.
You think they're going to be worse?
This is the article says they're going to disappoint.
I think they're going to be better.
I think they're going to be the surprise of the AFC.
Yeah, I think they're going to be. Look what they did last year. Look what they did. Right. Look what they did last year with Carson Wentz. They got Matty Ice there now. Now, granted, Matty Ice is 130 years old, but he's still a better quarterback than Carson Wentz.
They've improved on defense, and they have one of the best offensive lines in football. And
they have one of the best, and they have arguably probably the best
running back
in football. So, yeah, I don't think that team should not be in there. No, not at all.
All right, the Chiefs we talked about, right? So,
yep.
Let's see. Oh, the Patriots next up on the list.
Yeah, it's a smart move doubting Bill Belichick.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what the.
I don't think they're winning the division by any means over Buffalo, but they're not.
But they'll be hanging around.
They'll be hanging around.
They'll be hanging around.
Bleacher Report. So I don't know what they're smoking over there. But
yeah, well, they also have a lot of shows where it's women taking off their tops and.
Yeah.
No, it's Barstool Sports.
Barstool Sports.
All right. Next up, Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I'd say it could be a disappointment. They could come down to earth a little bit. I think Derrick Henry's going to be a little bit less of a running back than he's been the last couple seasons. I don't think he's going anywhere, but I think he's going to be a little less
He's
Like,
28 this year, so
yeah, it's going to be
still in his prime. But
They
But his
are
injury
they don't
last
have-
year. They're not going to run him as hard.
they're
don't
going to
have
be what
AJ
they
Brown.
always are, frustratingly good.
Mhm.
That's what they're going to be, frustratingly
Yeah.
good and frustratingly disappointing in the postseason.
Right.
Yeah, they don't have AJ Brown, and they still have Ryan Tannehill as quarterback, who's 34 this year.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been terrible, but we have seen some games that he needed to be clutch, and he wasn't, which is kind of the story.
Mhm.
So tough defensively, but I don't know. I think more than before or in previous years, if you can, and there's a big order, if you can stop Derrick Henry or at least slow him down or try and contain him,
Right.
I don't know if they have enough offense to move the ball.
The difference between Tennessee and any other team on this list is that you cannot score on them. They are one of the best defensive teams in the last 20 years of football.
Mhm.
And that's
All
what,
right, so
that's what they hang their hat on.
There you go.
That's Bleacher Report's 7 teams that will be a disappointment this year. Most likely, 7 teams most likely disappointment.
Most likely disappointment. Gotcha.
So we agree with some and don't agree with others.
So, but here you go. They did not have the Giants and the Jets on there. So they think that the Giants and the Jets will not be disappointing.
Surprising.
They will not be amongst
surprisingly disappointing.
No, they will
There's
not be
nothing
amongst.
surprising about the Giants and Jets disappointment.
They will not be amongst the most disappointing.
I got you.
They're actually 8 and 9 on that list.
They're number 1 and 2 on the most
7, and then we'll end it
consistently
there.
disappointing.
Right? Exactly.
Consistently disappointing teams.
Exactly. All right. Why don't we do our picks?
All right.
Picks.
What are we picking?
Not a beaten by the coin. No, we're beaten by the coin in a little bit. We're doing our predictions, our prognostication, shall we say?
All right.
All right.
Pick a division.
We're gonna start with the good old NFC East. All right. We'll start with Pete. Go to Harry, and then I'll give mine. Pete, who do you think is going to be the division winner out of the Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and the good old Commanders?
Well, of course, I am a Cowboys fan.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 2 really lousy teams.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the Eagles. And I think it's going to be the Eagles.
There you go.
I think they win the division this year.
All right. Harry.
I'm going with the Eagles as well. Why, I don't know. I just think I think they've got a lot of talent. They've got a big question mark at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a lot of talent.
They do. They really do have a lot of talent. All right. That brings us to the NFC. By the way, I rounded out. I agree with you guys. I'm going with the Eagles. I've been saying it for
All
weeks.
3 of us are going with the Dirty Birds.
Birds from the East. There we go. All right, moving to the NFC North. We're going to NFC North. The NFC Norris, as Chris Berman says. Pete, who is winning that division? Should I even ask you?
It's got to be Green Bay.
There you go.
Despite Bleacher Report's confidence in them being one of the 7 most disappointing teams this year,
There you go.
I think Chicago, Detroit, and Minnesota will all be at least equally disappointing, and Green Bay will come out on top.
Fair enough. Harry.
I think it's Green Bay, but I think it's by 1 game. I think Minnesota stays close. And I will say this. Here's my bold prediction.
Minnesota. I want your bold prediction, but Minnesota stays close because they play well or because Green Bay comes back down to earth a little bit?
A little bit of both. I think Minnesota is going to be a little better and Green Bay is going to come down to earth. And here's my biggest prediction. Detroit finishes with a better record than Chicago.
And I would agree with that as well.
I will agree with that also.
So, all right. And I'll put that little side there.
By the
All
way,
right.
Minnesota 0-3 in the preseason.
Well, did you, not to sidetrack us, but
No,
did
so
you
that
see that
means good things.
Michael Irvin, I think it was Michael Irvin, picked Kirk Cousins to win the MVP this year?
He did. I saw
Yes.
that.
I think
saw that.
these two.
I saw that.
These two.
But he dropped the crack pipe after
Yeah.
he said it.
Yeah.
And then he had to pick it back up again and clean it up. So it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Yeah, it was
All right.
empty. It was obviously empty.
it was completely empty. Okay. It broke. That's why he cleaned it up. Okay. Anyway, all right. NFC South. We're going to NFC South. Who is winning the NFC South? Pete.
Well,
The Falcons, the Panthers, the Saints, and the Bucks.
I'm
Oh, my.
tempted to say the Panthers.
You're gonna go a little Mad Dog Russo and just go rogue on your pick?
I think Carolina's going to be a good team this year. I think that surprised a lot of people. But I'll go with Tampa Bay. They're the winners until they're not.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Harry.
Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm. And as well. Oh, by the way, back on the NFC North, of course, you all know that my second team is obviously the Packers. So the Packers regardless whether it was or not, they're winning the division.
Why
I agree with
second team the Packers. Did you date a guy from Green Bay?
No. I've always liked Green Bay.
I never understood why that came through.
I think it was
you just like the early dream. You like when the Giants were playing a late game. You like going to the bar for the
exactly. Well, that was the other reason too. There's always that. But also because of late, and for the most part, at least over the last 30 something years, you always needed a team to watch in the playoffs and root for when your team was out. Because the Giants, very seldomly were in the playoffs. Most of the time when they made the playoffs, they went to the Super Bowl. Right. So that was always good. But the other years around the Super Bowl, they didn't even make the playoffs. So you had to have another team to watch.
Packers fans are fun. They're fun. They're a fun bunch.
Yeah, I've always liked Green Bay too. I like the city of Green Bay. I like I love Lambeau Field. It's a great breweries around the area too. So gotta love that.
John's philosophy in life is always set your expectations low, and you'll always be pleasantly happy.
There you go. Gotta love it. All right, and of course, I agree with you guys on the Bucks as well. All right, moving on to the NFC West. Who is winning the NFC West? Pete.
Yeah.
Golden State Warriors.
There you go. Cardinals, the Rams, the Niners, or the Sea Chickens.
I go Rams.
You are. You sound disappointed that you have to go Rams.
Well, I really want the 49ers, but
Trey Lance needs a year or two.
Yeah. I don't think the defense can be that good again.
All right.
Good enough to get them almost to the promised land.
Fair enough.
I'll take the Rams.
All right. Harry.
I agree only because I think you're going to see Jimmy Garoppolo by week 6 be the starting quarterback for the 49ers.
And I would agree. And look, there's a reason they didn't push a trade, right?
Right.
Because they're not one. I don't think they're one. I mean, they might be 90% sold on Trey Lance, but
because they're smart,
right? They have a year.
Now is that going to be like? Are they going to be 1-4? We're bringing in Garoppolo, or
yeah,
and so those are only losses might keep them out of
winning. Or 1-5, 2-3. The one thing is the Chargers have kind of a mediocre schedule. But there's a lot of games in there that are going to be telltale as to what the Rams. I mean, the Rams have a lot of games that they should win. If they can pull that off, then I think that they could be within 1 or 2 wins of what they were last year. But if this same 49ers team was going up against the Rams team, I have more confidence in the consistency of the 49ers than the Rams. In other words, I think the Rams really achieved at the peak that they could do last year. I don't see a repeat. It's very rare that you see a team repeat as champions. And let's not forget, they were one Jimmy Garoppolo bonehead play away from not making it to the Super Bowl.
This is true. This is very true.
They're one of the more underwhelming Super Bowl winners in the last couple of years. Having said that, they have a lot of talent. And they seem to have a coach that understands today's NFL fairly well. But I think they'll win the division. But I think the Rams might only have 10 wins this year.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lower amount. I think across the board actually. All right. Before we get to the AFC though, I want to jump ahead, and I want to get your opinion on who the 3 wild card teams out of the NFC are going to be.
Ugh.
Right. If you had to pick,
I call Harry has to go first.
Out of the NFC, which
3 teams that obviously non-division winners? Which 3 teams are going to be the wild card teams?
All right, so I think all 3.
I've already written mine down. So.
I think Arizona, San Francisco, and New Orleans.
So you say Cardinals, 49ers, and the Saints. All right. While Pete's thinking, I will let you know. I agree with you on two of them: Cardinals and Saints, and I have the Vikings in there.
Yeah, that's, and I'm picking the 49ers kind of on a little bit of a lark because I think they will, but Minnesota would have been the other choice. But I'm going to go with the 49ers because I think they're going to be 2-3, 3-6, something around there. I think Jimmy G is going to come in. I think they're going to make the playoffs.
There you go. Pete?
All right, I'm going to say the Saints, Vikings, and the Cowboys.
Okay. Gotta be a homer.
Of course.
All right.
Look, I already said they're not going to win the division. Prime will never speak to me again if I don't at least pick them for a wild card.
You don't at least pick them for a wild card. I got you. Fair enough. All right.
I mean, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Prime will never speak to me the first time if I don't pick him for a wild card.
Fair enough. That too.
Well, you do talk to the cardboard cutout you have of him.
Yeah,
but that doesn't count.
Yeah.
No.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. All right. Let's move it to the AFC. Let's go with the AFC East: Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and the team formerly known as the New York Titans. Who do you pick, Pete?
Where are we going?
And if
AFC
AFC East.
AFC East.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see. Mac and cheese. He might be ready to win it all this year. I'll go with Buffalo.
All right, Bills for Radio Pete. Harry?
Bills.
Mm-hmm. I took the Bills as well. Move it to the AFC North, Pete.
I'll go Bengals.
Bengals. Harry?
Cincinnati Bengals.
Mm-hmm. And I already took Cincinnati as well. Let's move it to the South, AFC South. Who's winning the South? Are you going with the Jaguars?
In spirit. I'm going to take the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
I think Matty Ice is going to have a little bit of a rebound if he can stay healthy.
Fair enough. Harry?
I'm also going to take the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Although I might regret it. Tennessee is just one of those teams that
I know.
Here's where I am with that. I took the Colts as well, and
I feel like the Colts have more firepower.
I'll tell you why. They have a better offensive line. The defense is improved. Jonathan Taylor is insane.
He's just as good as he's almost as good as Derrick Henry.
He's better than Derrick Henry. He's better than Derrick Henry. He's better than Derrick Henry because he can move around. Derrick Henry bowls people over.
You and Pete could be the offensive line for Derrick Henry, and he'd still average 4 yards a carry.
Fair enough. All right. But Derrick Henry is coming down a little bit too.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think the
and look, if both of those running backs, let's say, go out week 2 for the next 6 weeks, I like Indy with Ryan to keep them going more than I do Tennessee with Tannehill.
Yeah, this could be the division where somebody who wins 9 games wins the division.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
All
right. So obviously I took the Colts as well. All right, AFC West, Pete.
Boy, you gotta give some love to the Raiders, but 4-0 in the preseason, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Chiefs, despite all their talent on the field, they also have Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll have to go with Kansas City.
Chiefs. He's taking the Chiefs. Harry.
I'm going to go with the Chargers, and I'm also going to take the Broncos to beat the Raiders out for last place in that division. I got the Chargers sneaking by the Chiefs.
Fair enough. This is the first time that all three of us, well, actually, this is the first time anybody disagreed. We had 7 of the same picks. The wild cards were different. I am picking the Broncos to win that division.
Wow.
I'm picking a resurgence of
Did you
Russell
hear-
Wilson.
Did you hear that, Denver?
I'm picking a resurgence of Russell Wilson. I'm saying that he's gonna let it all hang out this year. I think they had the tools all the time. They just didn't have the guy behind the center. So yeah, and here's my thing. Okay, that division. I'm gonna say it right now, and I think I've said it before. All four of those teams are going to be 3 games apart. You know, in other words, it's going to come down to the last 2 weeks for any of the 4 teams to see who wins the division. So and to the point where I could tell you right now, my 3 AFC wildcard teams are the rest of that division.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I have a little bit of hope for the Broncos, and I do, they're going to be way better than they were last year. They got some teams in here that they should be able to beat up on. Their schedule is not. Yes, they have to play Kansas City twice. Yes, they have to play Houston or the Vegas twice. Yes, they have to play San Diego twice. But there's some other games in here that they should be able to blow over some people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they win 9 or 10 games this year. But I'm not buying the Raiders hype. I'm not buying it.
Fair enough. I you know what? The reason I am a little bit is because of
Adams.
Really. Thank you, Devontae Adams. Yeah. Because in college his quarterback in college was Derek Carr, and they have the connection. Obviously, hasn't happened for several years, but the Raiders made the playoffs last year. Essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're a better team between coaching and obviously receiving. And yeah, I think the AFC West is going to be a tight. There'll be 2 teams that are tied.
You have all 4 teams making the playoffs in that.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much. So,
Pete, who's your wild card teams?
Wild cards. I'm going to go the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Broncos are going to be better, but they're not going to quite get it done.
Fair enough.
Chargers, Raiders, and I'm going to take the Titans.
For what it's worth, the Titans are my number 4. If one of those teams dropped out, they were right there. Like the Vikings were for Harry, the Titans were for me. But anyway,
yeah, I just don't know if. I mean, I know it's mathematically possible, but physiologically possible for 4 teams.
That would be awesome, though, wouldn't it?
To be better than every other team in every other division except for the division winners. That would be historical.
Mm-hmm. There you go, Harry.
There we go, Harry.
I'm going to go Kansas City, Baltimore. And I want to pick the Titans, but just to be a little different, I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here and pick the Patriots.
Really? All right. Fair enough.
Going against the grain.
There you go. All right. Now we're going to so we'll go over everything when we're done, but let's do this. Pete, who is in the NFC Championship game?
Oh God.
Preseason pick,
NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take
the Commanders and the Giants.
I'll take the Rams
and
the Saints.
Rams Saints. Wow, cool. Harry?
Rams and the Bucks.
That was my next choice. The Bucks. Well, I don't think they're going to get there.
Obviously.
I guess I didn't need to say that.
All right.
I don't know if you can tell from my pick, but I don't think Tampa Bay is going to be in the championship game.
You kind of figured.
Right.
I'm going Rams Packers, actually.
Wow.
I wrote down Packers fans. I'm holding on to that.
Holding on to the Green Bay dream.
There you go. AFC Championship game. Pete?
Well, let's see. It's going to be the Bills, I think. Cleveland?
Forget about Jacksonville.
Don't forget about Jacksonville. There you go.
I'm gonna go Chargers.
Fair enough.
I like Mr. Hebert.
Hebert.
Herbert.
Herbert. Hebert was 30 years ago. Harry?
It's going to be the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right, Bills, Bengals. And Harry, you and I agree. It's going to be the Bengals and Bills. And the Super Bowl is going to be, Pete? Which of those?
He's already forgotten who.
You picked the Rams and the Saints.
That's going to be the Rams and the Bills.
All right. Harry?
As much as I want my boy Joe Burrow to make it back, I think it's going to be the Bills and the Bucks.
Bills and the Bucks. All right. And yours truly is picking the Rams and the Bills. And Pete, who's winning your Rams-Bills game?
Buffalo.
Harry, who's winning your Bucks-Bills game?
Mr. Brady rides off into the sunset with another ring.
All right. You're the only one because my Rams-Bills game, the Bills are winning. So here we go. Here we go. Pete has the Eagles, NFC East, the Eagles, NFC North, the Packers, South, the Bucks, West, the Rams. Harry's got the Eagles, the Packers, the Bucks, and the Rams as well, as do I. Eagles, Packers, Bucks, and Rams. The AFC East, Harry's got the Bills. We all have the Bills. We all have the Bengals. We all have the Colts. And for the West, we all Pete has the Chiefs. Harry has the Chargers. I have the Broncos. The wild cards.
I can't believe we all picked the Colts. I thought I'd be alone on that one.
I thought I was alone on that one. The NFC wildcard teams, Pete has the Cowboys, Vikings, and Saints. Harry has the Cardinals, 49ers, and Saints. I have the Cardinals, Vikings, and Saints. AFC wildcard, Pete has the Chargers, Raiders, and Titans. Harry has the Chiefs, Ravens, and Patriots. I have the Chargers, Raiders, and Chiefs. For the championship game in the NFC, Pete has the Rams and Saints. Harry has the Rams and Bucks. I have the Packers and Rams. For the AFC, Pete has the Bills and Chargers. Harry has the Bills and Bengals. I have the Bengals and Bills. For the Super Bowl, Pete and I have the Rams and Bills. Harry has the Bucks and Bills. Pete and I both have the Bills Super Bowl champs. Harry is giving Brady an 8th ring. And there you have it. Those are our prognostication.
One of ours picks will probably be blown up by week 3. But. I
wouldn't even go that far. Probably Monday night.
That's right.
We'll,
let's hope it's not because of some superstar's injury.
Yeah, we don't want that. No, none of that. So anyway, all right. So there you go. That is our prognostication. All right. Is it time, gents, to bring back our good old-fashioned beaten by the coin?
Only because of the music.
All right. So we got to play it. There we go. And let's get the music cranking.
The coin.
I'm sure I'll lose to the coin.
No one wants to be beaten by the coin.
There we go. There you go. You there? You all right, Pete?
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here. All right.
He gets emotional by the beaten by the coin.
He does, though.
Do you have your coin? That's the real.
I have my coin.
All right.
All right, so our 5 games for the upcoming week 1 that we are picking are the Buffalo Rams. So let's start there.
The Bills and the Rams. Yeah, Thursday night, tomorrow night, 8:20.
Johnny, you already have our picks. Who we picking?
I picked the Rams. Harry,
And I picked the Buffs. What's the next game? Pete, who are you taking in that one?
I think I took the Bills, right?
the Bills. Yeah, I don't think you took the Buffs. Did you say
I took the Buffs.
the Buffs?
The Buffs. Yeah.
The Buffalo Buffs.
Buffalo Buffs.
So I'm the only one that took the home team. I only took the Rams. Harry and Pete took the Bills both. So who is the coin taking?
Let's do a flip of the old coin. Trusty quarter here. I'm looking around for a bigger coin because I dropped this only 78 times over the past couple of seasons. But flip says heads.
Home
which,
team.
as we know, is the home team,
That's the Rams.
which is the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
So the coin takes the Rams.
What do you got
Next Next up is Denver and Seattle.
Denver and Seattle on Monday night.
Russell
night game.
Wilson goes home to the Northwest with his new team.
Anybody taking Seahawks?
No.
All 3 of us picked the Broncos.
All right. Coin says.
But it'd be really funny if they lost.
Coin says heads. We know the coin loves the home team.
This is an important game for Jersey Johnny's pick of the Denver Broncos to be the champions of the AFC West.
This is true. Very true.
Can't beat Seattle. You can't beat anything.
This is true. Which is why I said we would know by week 1,
Yes.
Monday night. That's why I said what I said.
That's right.
Next up is Tampa Bay at Dallas.
Tampa Bay at Dallas, Sunday night.
Anybody taking the Dallas Cowboys?
I think all 3 of us have picked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right. Coin says heads.
Going with the Cowboys.
Coin is a homer this week.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland and Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And that game is where? I have no idea.
In Carolina.
Sunday at 1 o'clock.
And again, quarterback returning to
There you go.
face their old team.
I have picked. I picked the Panthers. Pete,
I picked the Panthers.
Harry, who'd you pick?
Going with the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns. Coin said you're writing these down, right, John?
I'm writing them down.
Coin says heads.
Going with
Like
Carolina.
Panthers.
The revamped and rebuilt and re-energized Carolina Panthers.
Both sides of that coin are heads, right?
I
Pretty
wish.
much.
Tails is a building now. It's not the bird anymore.
Yeah.
KC and Arizona.
In Arizona.
In Arizona, Sunday at 4:25.
Anybody taking the Cardinals?
I think we had all 3 of us have picked the away team, the Chiefs.
Last chance for the coin to get it right.
Heads it is.
They love the Chiefs. It's tails.
It's tails. Wow, look at that.
All right.
So there we
Well,
go.
some good games this week, that's for sure.
This is true. All right, cool. That is our first week 1 beaten by the coin. Beaten by the coin is back, gents. What do you think? Loving it.
Loving life.
Yeah,
So who did the coin take? The coin took the Rams.
The coin took the Rams, the Seahawks, Dallas, Carolina, and Kansas City.
Yep.
All right. And I'll be posting the sheet up on the website there.
It'll be posted up on the website. We have a website.
John, did you want to put up any of the did you want to gloat about your last 2 seasons?
I wasn't going to gloat. We can just talk about it. I don't have to put them up. But
I sent John the certificates. They're up on the website.
They're up on the website.
He didn't run away with it.
No, first year he beat us
year.
pretty handily. But last year, I think we were all separated by a single
We're just a single game or 2. Yeah, last year. So, yeah. But 2 years. 2 years running.
2-time champion.
Yeah.
Johnny
I'm going for 7 rings like Brady. So.
Yeah.
Or 8.
There you
According to Harry.
I hope we're not doing it this time.
So there you go. Cool. But all right, beaten by the coin, gents. Very good. Love it.
See if the coin can be better than their last 2 years. All right.
Let me ask you guys one quick thing.
Uh-oh.
So Lamar Jackson said Friday is the deadline, right?
Yep.
As far as his contract extension.
That's what he said.
Or what?
He's going to play.
Or he's going to cry.
Is he going to not play?
Or he's going to stamp and...
No, he's going to play.
He'll play.
He's going to play.
I think he doesn't want
It's
it
a
to
deadline.
be.
It's a deadline, or he's not going to sign anything after that.
He doesn't want it to be a distraction during the season.
All right.
Yeah, he's just saying they're not. They can't come to him in week 3 and say, "Hey, let's renegotiate." No, he doesn't want none of that during the season.
Look, Aaron Judge did the same thing.
We get it done by Friday, or we stop talking about it until after the season.
But then they run the risk of him walking to New York.
Yeah.
Would he ever go to the Giants or Jets?
No, he'll stay in Baltimore. He'll get what he wants and stay in Baltimore. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. But it would be interesting to think of it. He's not going to the Jets, right? They got too much invested in Zach Wilson to give up on him after 2 years.
No, they've got a couple more years to destroy him.
So
he's the opposite of everything the Giants have ever tried to build in a quarterback, which is why I think it would be a success.
Right. Well, the Giants did have the Giants have had 2 very mobile quarterbacks in their history.
I'm not saying, but they didn't draft them. It wasn't there. They didn't build it.
They drafted one of them.
Who?
Jeff Hostetler.
Well, all right, let's go back. Well, back in 70, I'm saying in recent history. Yeah.
I just said of all time.
Yeah.
Fran Tarkenton and Jeff Hostetler.
And Hostetler was mobile, but he wasn't Lamar Jackson.
No, I said mobile. I didn't say he was a running quarterback. I said mobile.
Yeah.
Norm Van Brockton was pretty mobile.
They broke,
exactly.
For his day. I mean, let's be honest. Joe Pisarcik was mobile compared to some of these guys.
There you go.
So, I mean, all right. Yeah. Look, I would love to see Lamar Jackson. I just feel like he's probably got a better chance of being successful in Baltimore than he does. I can't really picture him on a lot of other teams, especially because there's a lot of teams that ironically, with the exception of the 49ers, every really good team has a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Name a great team what about Tennessee? What about
the Steelers?
Yeah. What about Indianapolis?
Yeah.
They seem to
Steelers have Mitchell Trubisky. Come on.
That's right. Well, we're going to see Mitchell Trubisky, play. I think on the flip side of the 49ers, I think you're going to see Trubinsky out of there by week 4 or 5. And the one team I almost picked to make the wild card in the AFC was Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is actually going to be knocking on the door of the playoffs.
I think they're going to be much better than anybody thinks that they're going to be. And I think it's going to be, honestly, not because of Trubisky. I think it's going to be because of Kenny Pickett.
I think that might be the surprise pick of the draft. I think he's going to come in. I think he's NFL ready. I really do.
Small hands and all.
Well, whatever.
Well, let me. You know what? It's funny. Let me.
Well, I mean,
the article at you.
They're not this small.
No,
not as small as baby hands. No. This is from Adam Shine and his 9 last-minute predictions.
9.
Just go through. Go through them very fast.
No, we just did 15 last minute.
He said the Patriots are going to be bad. They're ditching their offense that they've run for 2 decades to go to a zone blocking scheme, and it's being led by 2 failed head coaches with Matt Patricia and Joe Judge. But don't sleep on Belichick. Patriots are going to be bad. Number 2, the Bears are going to be worse. I don't believe that. Number 3, Kevin O'Connell changes everything for the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to be pretty good, but we'll see.
What does that mean? Number changes everything. Yeah, they're going to all of a sudden they're going to be a water polo team.
He's changing the lights.
Well,
he's changing the seat covers.
They're going to have
decor in the locker room.
They're going to have sparkles on their uniforms.
They're going to be competing in the freestyle at next year's X Games.
Right.
Unless he can bring
if he can change the quarterback, maybe that would work then.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, unless he can raise Fran Tarkenton back into the starting lineup.
His basic argument is Mike Zimmer sucked, and so anyone's better than him, and it's going to make Kirk Cousins a lot better.
Gotcha.
All right, number 4, forget the Titans.
Not remember the Titans?
No, forget the Titans. Number 5 is the reason I brought this up. Don't sleep on the Steelers.
There you go.
Great.
And here's his reasoning. Mitch Trubisky represents an upgrade over last year's version of Roethlisberger.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but
For that matter, so does Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to love this one. Number 6, back-to-back MVPs for Aaron Rodgers.
well, he's already won back-to-back.
So back to back.
Back-to-back. Repeat.
Credit.
He could win as many MVPs as he wants. He's not winning the Super Bowl.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Well, look at
Right,
it this
and
way,
then-
though. If he wins one, he's retiring.
The
So.
Golden Man Bun Award.
Well, now let's put things in perspective. Now, this is Adam Shine. He's been around forever, right?
Yeah.
Like
How many of his last-minute predictions have been right over the years?
I don't know. Here's his playoff teams. AFC: Bills, Chargers, Bengals, Colts, Raiders, Chiefs, Dolphins.
Say it again.
Bills, Chargers, Bengals, Colts, Raiders, Chiefs, Dolphins. Raiders, Chiefs, Dolphins, wild cards.
Okay,
Dolphins.
so not far off from us, but he's going out on a limb with the Dolphins. I don't believe in the Dolphins, but prove me
Yeah.
wrong. They're rubber band man.
Let's see. And that was the order of seeding in his list,
Yeah.
by the way.
Gotcha.
NFC seeding: Packers, Rams, Saints, Eagles, Niners, Vikings, Bucks, wild cards. So
Okay.
there you go.
So we're
He's
close
very
on a lot
high
of
on the
stuff.
Saints.
So he's high in picking he's high on the Vikings and the Dolphins. Those are the two things he's going out on a limb on. He's got
Well,
the Saints,
and
and
the
he's got the
Saints.
Saints beating the Bucks. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, the Saints-
Saints beating the Bucks is pretty high on that, but
Yeah.
none of us picked them. But Pete picked the Vikings to make a wild card. So
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm not
Saints
slipping
might
them,
be a big time sleeper this year. You know,
Could
Could be.
didn't I pick the Saints to be a wild card too? or
You
no?
did. We all did.
Yeah.
The three of us.
Yeah.
I mean, Kamara, Jameis Winston, if he stays healthy.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
Super Bowl pick: Bills over the Packers. So we like him for that one.
There you go.
Everybody's picking the Bills.
But he's
The Packers have to prove themselves to me. I never
Well,
doubt Aaron Rodgers, but
you got to win
I'm
the
not-
Super Bowl to do that.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure the Packers. I think the Packers lost more than Devonta Adams in the offseason.
Okay, last thing.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Hold on. Before you get to the last thing,
let's
his
do one
fir-
other last thing.
No. His first point on his list on Joe Shane's
Adam Shine's list.
Adam
yeah.
Shine's Joe Shane, Adam
Joe
Shine.
Shane, same guy.
Adam Shine's his first one was the Patriots. He said 2 failed head coaches in Matt Patricia and Joe Judge.
Yeah,
And
two defensive-minded head coaches, failed head coaches running the offense.
Harry can agree with me on this. Probably will agree with me on this. You could put 2 cardboard boxes in the coordinators' positions on that team with Bill Belichick as the head coach. It would probably have the same results.
Yeah,
So,
Belichick's it wasn't like he just woke up and said, "Oh, I forgot to get an offensive coordinator." He's making a point.
Well,
He's making a point, and Belichick wants more control. Like, I think Belichick's pretty high on his new quarterback, and I think he wants to have control over how this offense is run. And if you are dumb enough to think that Belichick did not have an immense say in the offense over the years, then you don't know what you're talking about, because that offensive coordinator who is so wonderful with the Patriots
was horrible with the
also
Broncos.
did not do very well as a head coach.
And he's the head coach, and he's the head coach in Las Vegas right now.
Exactly my point. That's right.
Yeah, I think his point is that they are changing that offense that they have been running for the last umpteen years, and
yeah,
bringing
which is
in
good
some
because
defensive-
the last time I checked in before what's his name got there, it was Cam Newton throwing the ball to the other team was their offense. So
yeah, yeah, that's true. I guess maybe it could have gotten any worse, so we're going to revamp it. Okay.
how was it bad last year?
It wasn't. They played good football last year.
Yeah,
They were right there.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So,
true.
they were the surprise team of the NFL. last
Maybe
year.
they thought this is the way to help push mac and cheese to the next level.
Possibly. All right. Pete,
Okay,
what's the other point?
last thing is win over under totals. So I have the predictions from DraftKings on March 28th, so about a month before the draft, and I said we would revisit after the draft. So over basically the last week of August, they put out new numbers, and I also have the numbers from Vegas Insider. So I'm not going to go through every team, of course, because
what's the big deltas?
So here's we're going to start with what I like to call the steady betties. These are teams that had the same number a month before the draft, the same number at the end of August, and the same number from Vegas Insider.
All right.
So these are Buffalo, 11.5, Houston, 4.5, Jacksonville, 6.5, the Rams, 10.5, New England, 8.5, Pittsburgh, 7.5, and Tampa Bay, 11.5.
Okay.
Those all stayed the same.
All right.
Next, we have the droppers. Arizona from a 9 to an 8.5. Not a big deal. Chicago from a 7 to a 6. And Vegas Insider says 6.5. And Seattle from 6.5 to 5.5. And I think we know why that happened.
Right.
And next we have the climbers, who went up, I think in most cases, half a game. Carolina from 6 to 6.5. Vegas from 8 to 8.5. Minnesota from 9 to 9.5. Then we have the superstars, or as I like to call them, the shooting stars. New Orleans going from 7.5 to 8.5.
One full game.
With DraftKings and concurred with by Vegas Insider. And Philly going from 8.5 to 9.5. Concurred with Vegas Insider.
There you go.
Now, for our local teams, Giants go from 7.5 to 7 on DraftKings. Vegas Insider stays at 7.5. Jets DraftKings goes from 5 before the draft to 5.5 after the draft. Vegas Insider says 5.5.
There you go.
No.
So
neither team's winning more than 6 games.
Neither team. So you look at basically Philly and New Orleans. These are the teams that the Vegas. Now, again, these are the odds makers, right? These numbers have two purposes. Number one,
they were low to begin with, some of them.
To entice you to bet.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And number two, to make it really difficult to choose. So, I
think they're right on with every team.
Yeah. Oh, one final note about this. Cleveland, they would now put out a number before the draft.
Well, obviously. Well, I think it was before the trial.
They were like, yes, it was. And they were like, nope. As of
and then the verdict came out.
Yeah.
And they still waited.
And they went up. And then the real verdict came out. And
they went down.
It's 8.5. According to DraftKings and Vegas Insider.
Well, they're going to win this week.
Jacoby Brissett, man. How many games is he suspended? Is Watson suspended?
12.
12.
Well, no, 11. It's
11 and a half,
it's 12. It's 12 weeks. It's a 12-week suspension. It just so happens that it's only 11 games because one of those weeks is a bye. So
he'll be able to start 6 games this year?
7 games. 6 games.
6 games.
Yeah. So Brissett's got to play 11.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't say Cleveland was going to win a lot of games. I just think they're going to beat Carolina.
If they win all 6,
look,
with
Watson,
this
is week 1.
Only got to win 2.5.
This is the week that Christian McCaffrey gets 90% of his yards before he is out for several weeks.
Before he breaks his leg.
True.
So,
I didn't say it was going to be a high-scoring game. I didn't say it was going to be a pretty game.
Yeah,
9-7, Cleveland wins.
McCaffrey's going to rush for 217 yards.
Right.
Which is not going to get in the end zone.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Do we want to, like we do every year? It'll take 3 minutes. Do we want to, like we do every year, pick what we think the final game totals are going to be for the Giants and the Jets?
Sure.
All right.
Oh,
Pete,
our win total picks?
Our win total picks.
Oh, boy. Do you have last year's numbers?
I do.
I won this last year. When it comes to pessimistic outlooking.
Yeah, you were. Your optimism is in an all.
I was right on with the Giants and Jets last year.
I think maybe it's
I think
more
we were all pretty close, though.
We were all.
No, I was way off.
Yeah, but John and I think we're within 1 game.
Yeah. Let me pull this up right here.
I think I was high on the Giants, though.
Were you?
I mean, higher than you guys were.
Yeah, probably.
Probably higher on the Jets, too, but that was homerism.
All right. Last year, Pete, you had the Giants going 9-8.
And what was their final record?
5 and 12.
I thought I was more than 50% right.
I had them going 8-9. Harry, you had them going 7-10. So Harry, you were the closest.
So we were all
you were 2 games over. I was 3 games over. Pete, you were 4 games over.
Yeah.
So we were all
I think I was pretty close with the Jets.
For the Jets, you were spot on.
Yeah.
Pete and I both had 5 and 12 for our initial picks, and then when we were done picking, because I wrote it down this way, when we were done picking, Pete, you adjusted your pick to 6 and 11 from 5 and 12. Harry, you had 4 and 13, and the Jets were indeed 4 and 13. So there you go. So that was last year's picks. So this year, however, let's start with the Giants. Harry, you start with the Giants.
The Giants are going to win 5 games this year.
So they're going 5 and 12 like they did last year.
Yes.
Okay. Pete?
Wow, no upward movement in the win column.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go I'm going to go 6.
6 and 11.
Wait, they won 5 last year?
They won 5 last year.
All right, no, I'm going to go 7.
7 and 10.
I think they're going to eke out 2 more wins.
All right. Because I've actually looked at the schedule and
13 and 4.
crossed my fingers, they're going to go 16 and 1
and lose in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. They're just breaking. They're going to break 500. They're going to go 9 and 8. That's my bold prediction. 9 and 8. And I'm sure at some point on Sunday, I will indeed put this up several hundred times on Facebook, and
it's chocolate soft serve.
Chocolate soft serve, yes. And put that up, and that's a poop emoji for those of you just listening to the audio podcast. And retract that thought. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going out on a limb. Bold prediction: 9 and 8. All right, let's switch to the Jets. Pete, you kick it off with the Jets. What are the Jets do?
What did they have last year? 4?
4 and 13 last year.
I'm less optimistic about just the organization in general. Oh, are we going to play the Jets theme?
You know what? I was just going to that when you do it. So before you actually do it, we're going to introduce to you because what?
Yeah, let me tell the story.
Tell the story. Well, I'm just going to say we're going to starting with the next news show that'll be like the Jets theme, like we always do, but. This is the announcement of it while we're picking the Jets. Go ahead. So tell the story. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to create a new Jets theme, and I wanted to do something a little different this year. So I came across some audio of basically the team talking to Sauce Gardner. I think it's right after they drafted him. It was on draft night.
Right.
And it's, I don't know, somebody in the organization saying, oh, we got Coach, did I say Joe Douglas? Mm-hmm. We got Joe Douglas and Coach Sala, and then I guess he ended up talking to Woody, which I'm sure was the thrill of his lifetime.
Woody Harrelson
and Woody Johnson, yeah. Woody Woodpecker would have been.
No, Woody from Toy Story.
Woodrow Wilson.
So it just was kind of weird to me. I think Joe was like, yeah, he drank too many Red Bulls. He was all hopped up, and he was creepy. It just sounded weird, and he kept saying, "Hey, man," before every sentence. So I reworked it a little bit into sort of my dreamy impression of the Jets calling and speaking to Sauce Gardner, who they just drafted.
Of how that conversation went. And here it is. Here we go.
You ready to do this? Ready. And we've got Joe and Coach Sala and everybody else in here. They're going to dump on.
Swaggy Sauce Gardner. How you doing, brother? It's Joe Douglas. How you doing, brother? It's Joe Douglas.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. You ready to join the family?
Hey, man.
Hey, man, I'm going to turn you over to Coach Sala.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, congrats, man. Welcome to the family.
Thank y'all, man. Appreciate it. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, yell it. Hey, man, I just want to thank y'all, man. I'm great, man. Blessed to be here, man.
Hey, man. Welcome to
What
the
does this
family.
burger
Welcome to the
need
family.
more?
Family, 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 family.
Wow.
That would be
That's
sauce.
way better than Kanye's last album.
So
There you
it was just weird. It was just weird.
Very good. Very well done. Well done. That's our Jets theme for you this year. So on that note, what are the Jets doing?
The Jets, I really want to see them improve. I've said all along, I'd like to see twice as many wins as last season. But 8's a tall order. I'm going to pick 7.
Again, 7-10.
Yep.
Harry.
You know, I took a look at their schedule, and unfortunately, with Wilson out now, they're going to win 4 games again.
4-13, same as last year. Same prediction as last year, and you're going with the same record as last year. There you go.
I mean, it just seems I can't see him winning these other games.
I hear you. All right, Pete. To your point, I do see improvement. I am going to say that they're going to improve this year.
5.
They're going to win 5.
5-12. There you go.
Well, this is how sad the state of downstate New York.
Which is the same.
Football
Which is the
is.
same pick
We're
that I
happy
picked.
with one more win. I'll take it. I'm
There you
not
go.
happy with it, but I'll take it.
I'll take it. Right. So
So you're the most optimistic for the Giants.
You're the most optimistic for the Jets.
Harry's the most pessimistic.
And Harry is picking the Giants and the Jets to have the exact same records that they did last year.
That's good stuff.
Because both teams have just made immense changes in the offseason.
Yeah.
There you go.
But the Jets have
a tough schedule.
The Jets
They got a tough schedule. Giants have a pretty tough schedule too. You know.
Either way, it's going to be ugly.
Got to hear it again.
You ready to do this?
Yeah, ready.
And we've got Joe and Coach Sala and everybody else in here. They're going to dump on.
Swaggy Sauce Gardner. How
Can
you
you
doing,
stop
brother?
it there for a
Joe
second? Can you
Douglas.
pause it? Here's the thing about this. His nickname is Sauce Gardner. Why do you throw Swaggy in front of it? You don't.
Swaggy Sauce Gardner.
Swaggy Sauce Gardner.
Okay. Well, no, because
it makes it even creepier.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's
he
going.
just came from Boggs Big Boy, where they have the Swaggy sauce.
Who is saying Swaggy? Sala?
Joe
No,
Douglas.
that's Joe Douglas.
God.
Well, some guy it says, "I'll give you the." Now here's the other thing. Listen to when he says. Now, obviously, Sala didn't scream sauce 5 times. Just once.
I wish he did. I
wish
really
he had.
did.
He might week 1 when he gets
Listen,
toasted.
right during the season. Just listen to when Douglas says, "You ready to join the family?" It's like he's at the 4th of July party with his nephew's new bride.
It's like Tom Cruise at the big
he's at the party at
Church
the
of
pool party.
Scientology
He's at the pool party with his
jamboree.
nephew's new bride, and she looks hot in her bikini. He's like, "You ready to join the
Join the
family?"
family.
It's so creepy and weird, and then Sala's yelling at him, and
here we go.
And the other thing I like is Douglas. I didn't add in the "Hey Mans." He starts everything with "Hey Man," and then you hear Gardner start to ape the same language back to him.
Was Gardner on a time delay, or was he high, or what was going?
No, he was on there. He was on the phone. They were calling him.
All right.
So, but it's like if you get kidnapped or held hostage, you sort of want to connect with the people that are holding you hostage, so you start to talk like them. Because Gardner starts going, "Hey man."
Yeah, man.
It's all right. Go. Sorry.
Here we go.
Continue.
There we go.
How you doing, brother? It's Joe Douglas.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. You ready to join the family?
Hey, man.
Hey, man, I'm going to turn you over to Coach Sala.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, congrats, man. Welcome to the family.
Thank y'all, man. Appreciate it.
I think I want to remix this to a dance beat where it says hey man, welcome to the family.
Yeah, you can find the raw.
Welcome to the
online.
family, folks.
Welcome to the family. Swaggy Sauce Gardner.
Swaggy Sauce Gardner.
It's just so. It made my heart sink. I'm like, now this organization's not going anywhere.
I think they should play that what you just created over the loudspeaker when the Jets come out. It would be like almost like making the entire Jets crowd like seasick a little bit. Coming out of the shitty speakers, just like.
That could be that when they come out and they break through the banner.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, they could be playing that.
That's hysterical.
Okay.
All right.
There you
Anybody
go.
got anything else? I got nothing.
Football, you bet.
Football, you bet. That's it. That wraps up our 100th show, folks. Our 100th show. We've done this 100 times. We've done this.
Football
now it starts tomorrow, right?
You would
Football
think
starts tomorrow night.
I thought, yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, Bills and Rams tomorrow. I hate
Bills and Rams tomorrow night at 8:20, and it's only on Amazon Prime this year.
Oh,
yeah. That's right.
It. You don't have Amazon Prime, you are not watching it. The only other way you can watch it is, I believe, DirecTV has an Amazon Prime channel, but it's only for the bars that buy the NFL Sunday Ticket as a bar. So they don't actually have to have Amazon Prime, so they can have it through DirecTV. But that's it. So if you're at home, the only way you're watching it is Amazon Prime. That's it.
So how much lower are the ratings going to be than a game that's typically on?
More people have Amazon Prime than you think.
Well, sure. I'm just saying that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're more.
Why does the NBC or the NFL website say that it's on NBC?
I don't know. But everything that I've read for the last 3 months is that every NFL Thursday night game this year is going to be only on Prime. That's it.
Well, I guess I'll be.
What does it say on it? Let's dissect this. Let's debunk this.
Well, it's just if you pull up the schedule on NFL.com, it shows NBC underneath the game.
Maybe it's the opening day. Maybe it's opening day. Maybe it's the first.
Yeah,
game.
it says NBC and then Universo.
TV, NBC. Yeah, NBC.
And then it says Universo. So I don't know what that means.
Universo.
Is that the Spanish? Is that the Spanish version of Universal?
Probably.
Yeah, Buffalo out Los Angeles, NBC.
Got it. Hold on. Yep. Week 2 starts exclusive on Amazon Prime. Week 1, I guess it's just because it's the opening kickoff. It's the first game of the season. So
Thursday night games.
Thursday night games. But week 2 is Amazon Prime only.
All right. Well, I will be sure not to watch that then.
There you go. So start next week, Amazon Prime only. So
not putting any more money in Bezos' pocket than I already do.
Well, do you have Amazon Prime?
No.
You don't have Amazon Prime?
No.
Well, there you go. Harry, you have Amazon Prime?
Yes.
I do as well.
There you go.
Only because I really love collecting cardboard boxes.
Yes, that is the same reason I do.
Well, I have a lot of vitamins because whenever I order something, I need to get to $25 to get free shipping. I just order another bottle of vitamins.
That might be a good over-under, one of the fun shows you can do. How many Amazon boxes are in Pete's lair?
Oh.
Well, he doesn't have Amazon Prime.
No, but I still get Amazon.
We still Amazon.
Amazon Prime. If you're using Amazon, there's no reason to not get Prime. It pays for itself in like
2 shipments.
Yeah, 1 shipment maybe.
Yeah.
And if you're Prime, like literally the other day, I got something before I even finished ordering it. It was
I ordered something just
before you even realized you needed it.
It was here.
They have that too.
I was about to order it, and the doorbell rang.
They have that too.
No,
you could get drunk into a recurring order and forget that you ordered it, and then have it come again,
and then stay drunk.
No kidding, though. Honestly, I ordered something 3 weeks ago. I believe it was 3.5 weeks ago. I ordered something on a Sunday morning at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, there's no.
It was
date.
at my door at 5 on a Sunday.
It's kind of sad.
Well, they just built a gigantic. Been watching them build it for months. They built a picking and shipping center in Syosset, which is not that far from me. It's right, not right down the street, but so I believe it is operational now. I've been watching a bit. It is an absolutely magnificently massive building, and I actually saw some people inside, and there looked like there were some metal racks and stuff. So I can probably expect stuff to get to me even faster because it's going to be, I don't know, 15 miles away tops.
Yeah. So there you go.
Where else?
All right. Well, there you go. Food for thought. All right. Again, this was our 100th show. Thank you for watching it. We had a blast. When we're gonna, we look forward to the next 100. So there you go. And our 2-year anniversary is coming up, so we'll have another celebratory show in another 2 weeks. As a matter of fact, is our 2-year anniversary.
Wow.
So there you go. But on that note, we will wrap the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And, of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Locker Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Football's kicking up. Watch the week 1 of football this week, kicking off tomorrow night, and, of course, all day on Sunday and, of course, Monday night as well. Baseball's coming in the home stretch here. Keep an eye on that. Anyway, have a great weekend. We will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Bye, everybody.
Congratulations to Serena Williams and Sue Bird.
Congratulations.
Yeah, happy retirement, man.
There you go.
2 of the best at what they do.